Hey guys, Ty out here. Want to talk to you guys about a bait that's near and dear to me. A bait that I pretty much built my career on out west. So out west, all the way from Arizona, California to Washington, thrown the Senko and caught fish everywhere on it, and got quite a few top 10s from it and some tournament wins thanks to the Senko. But I'm going to talk to you guys about pretty much the three sizes that I throw. I rarely throw, anything smaller than the 4-inch. Sometimes I do have a few packs, but it's not something I carry. Most of the time, I'm going to be loaded with this guy, a 5-inch Yamamoto Senko, mostly your green pumpkins, your black and blues, and then natural shad, and of course baby bass if the lakes are clear. And natural shad, baby bass, can't really go wrong with that, especially if the fish are on shad after they're done spawning. If the fish are up shallow, as a rule of thumb, 6 feet or less, I'm going to throw a Wacky Rig. Okay, pretty much 90% of the time. I'll also flip this bait just like I did at in Florida, but most of the time I'm basically skipping docks, throwing it next to cover on a Wacky Rig spinning rod application. It's a very finessey technique, and it's caught them for me all over the place. Next is this guy, 6-inch Senko. So I'm gonna go out with this guy if I want a faster fall, if I'm targeting bigger fish, and also the profile is going to allow fish to see this a little bit better in dirty water. For example, at the California Delta, a few years ago we had a lot of rain, so the water got really dirty. Now I was throwing the 5-inch and I was getting bit, but when I switched over to 6-inch, interestingly enough, the 6-inch actually got more bites. And then I also tried the 7-inch and found that I was actually getting bigger bites. How I rig this guy up is fairly simple. I still Wacky Rig this guy, believe it or not. Throw this on 20-pound test, 7-foot medium heavy rod, and I'm going to show you guys the hook that I use with it. It's pretty much a finesse wide gap, and it's a pretty big guy. It's a 3-aught. This hook right here, okay, 20-pound fluorocarbon line, and just like the 5-inch Senko, I'm gonna Wacky Rig it just like that. That 20-pound test is gonna help slow down the fall, and again, you are targeting big fish with this technique. So but don't be afraid to throw it, because a little guy will eat it too. Funny side story about the 7-inch Senko. A few years back, I was fishing as a co-angler, and I was basically Wacky Rigging a 7-inch Senko all the way to the top 10. The fish that helped me make the top 10, I'll never forget it. We were in big break, fishing from the back of the boat, flipped into a set of sparse toolies, felt the tap, set the hook, got my hook back. That was it. I reached my pocket, rigged up another one, fired out there, set the hook, and that fish flew out of the water, and while he was in the air, spit out my other 7-inch Senko, had another 7-inch Senko, landed in the cockpit, and believe it or not, I had to measure that fish, and it barely touched 12 inches. I only caught 5 keepers that day, but I had a few nice ones. But that's the fish that helped me make the top 10 cut. It was pretty amazing. So anyway, don't be afraid to throw this guy. I know it's a lot of plastic, it looks intimidating, but I'm telling you guys, when they are on it, they are on it, and you're gonna catch some big ones if you manage to get some bites with this. Other than that, Nikko rigging the Senko. So mainly Nikko rigging. I'm gonna throw the 5 and 6-inch most of the time, or pretty much all the time. Sometimes I throw the 4-inch, but again, that's like fishing for smallies. You don't need that much weight, something like that. But I rig them both pretty much the same. You're going to want these G7 bands, size 7mm for the 5-inch, and you need a 6mm for the, the 8mm for the 6-inch. And all I really do with this guy, okay, is you're going to want to rig it up. Just spread your ring out You want to squish it through right where the egg sac is, and then you're going to want to use a tungsten weight. Okay, my favorite's the 3/32. Again, I like to fish fast. The key thing is when you stick it in there, you just want to go through one time. That's it. Okay, now hook positioning. Hook positioning is always going to be hook point towards the tail. Okay, I like to throw like that because if I throw it out there and I drag it, the weight's down here, the hook point's going to be facing up, and it's going to allow you to go through cover a lot more easily. And then when they do bite it, you have a tendency of hooking them where you want it, which is in the top of the mouth. So with that being said, let's back this guy out and wacky rigging it. So if I'm fishing and I'm skipping this guy under docks and things like that, okay, what I want to do, let's just say that weight isn't in there. Let's just take that weight out. Okay, so we're back to a wacky rig. What you want to do is slide that G7 band just below the egg sac. And with this band, the unique thing about this band is you can hook right through it. Okay, so I will rig it just like that when I'm skipping docks. Okay, now if you don't use the band, you know, you can rip, because you know you're skipping it and it's going to cause a lot of wear and tear in your Senko. If you use this band, you're going to save a lot of money. The hookup ratio is just fine. It's actually pretty good because these silicone bands are actually pretty soft, and when you hook one, your bait's going to slide up the line. Love rigging it this way when I'm skipping docks, or I'm basically in a fishery where I'm going to be catching a lot and I don't want to go through and pollute the lake with that many plastics. But other than that, give that a shot, guys. I'm really a fan. I've been using that for about 4 years now, whenever they came out. I really like them. I always have them in my boat, and you know, I'll buy 4 or 5 packs at a time. But other than that, that's pretty much all my tips with the Senko, and hopefully you guys find something useful that you'll implement into your fishing. So I'll catch you guys later.